Hello, RiffDan49 here. Today I'm going to introduce to you the Sony MDS-E12 professional mini-disc recorder. This device was intended for recording studios or like situations, for example radio stations. It's meant to be mounted in a rack, although it does have small rubber feet. It's meant to fit in a standard 19-inch rack. It has ears on the sides for that purpose. It has a multitude of controls that are not commonly available on mini-disc decks. Some of them I'll go over today. Right now I'm going to demonstrate that this recorder works properly and that it will record and play back in all modes. This particular recorder has MDLP or mini disc long play capability. In other words, it will record 2 times the length on a standard mini disc or 4 times the length on a standard mini disc, although the 4 times speed or 4 times setting does reduce the frequency response somewhat. I have inserted a previously recorded mini disc. I will now erase this mini disc and proceed to record on a blank mini disc, on the blank mini disc that results. The AMS knob here works the same as it does on the standard mini disc decks. Enter the edit menu. Go through the various settings, the all erase, and it's completed. I'll eject the disk and write to the table of contents. As you can see, the table of contents has been erased, so therefore this disk is ready to record. This recorder has the capability of recording from a digital source using the coaxial inputs, which I'll show a little bit later. It also will record from unbalanced audio or inputs, which is what I'm using today, which is your standard RCA plug. And it also has the capability of recording from balanced sources, for example microphone preamps or mixers, so it can input and output in a balanced mode. So right now I'm going to record in 4 modes. First, the stereo mode. Right now it's set up to record in stereo, so I'll just proceed to record. I'll record about 20 seconds in stereo mode, and then I'll stop the recorder and change the mode to LP2. Changing the mode to LP2 and other modes is a little bit more involved on this unit than it is on your standard mini disc deck. Okay, now I have to enter the setup menu, and I have to scroll through the various options. If you have the instruction manual for this deck, then that will explain what these options are, but it has a multitude of options for recording different modes and also setting levels and other functions. Right now it's set for stereo mode. I'm going to change that to long 2 or LP2 mode. So I'm going to exit, and now I'm going to The second track is recorded in LP2 mode. The indicator here on the display shows that it's in LP2 mode. Now I'll go into the setup menu again, and I'll scroll through. Now we go to the record mode, which is right now long 2. It'll go to long 4. Exit. Now it's recording in LP4 mode. Remember, although this gives you 4 times the music storage on a mini disc, it is reduced frequency response. If you're recording voice, say from a podcast or something of that nature, then LP4 is the way to go, because you can get 4 times the amount of audio on a mini disc. Now the last mode is mono, which can also be used for voice. It's not LP4. So now record 20 seconds in mono mode. As you can see, the indicator shows mono. Okay, now I'm going to eject the disc and write the table of contents. As you can see, the 4 tracks have been recorded, a total of 1 minute and 40 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and play those so that you can see them go through each of the tracks. Each is recorded in a different mode. First is stereo. Second track is recorded in LP2, or 2 times the length mode. As you can see, the indicator lights up. Third track is recorded in LP4. The LP4 indicator lights up. Fourth track is recorded in mono mode. The mono indicator shows up in the display. This means both channels are outputting exactly the same signal. There's no left and right channel. Now I'm going to edit the disc. I'm going to input a name for the disc and also a name for the first track. So enter edit mode, and I'm going to input a name. The name I'm going to enter is the disc name. It's called Track Tribe, they provide non-copyrighted music that can be used on YouTube without violating any copyrights. So now the disc is named Track Tribe. I'm going to name the first track also. Name in track 1. The recorder will play an intro of the track so that you know which track you're putting a name in for. So now the first track is named as well as the disc. I'm going to stop it now, and I'm going to eject the disc and write to the table of contents. As you can see, the disc name shows up in the display. When I play it, the first track name will also appear. None of the other tracks are named, so they'll just show up no name. Okay, that's basic features of operating the unit. We'll go over some of the additional ones, put a little bit more light on the subject. Here we have the input selector. You can choose coax, unbalanced, which is the RCA connections, coaxial connections. This is digital, the coax, and all the way to the right is the balanced input, and I'll show you those. They use DIN connectors. This is the where you input the disc. I'll also mention to you that this deck or recorder can be controlled using an IBM PS2 compatible keyboard. You plug the keyboard in here. The instruction manual has a map of the different buttons on your keys on your keyboard to different functions of the recorder. Chosen not to demonstrate that because that's not part of the eBay auction that where I'm offering this unit. Here, the recorder has the capability of changing the playback speed of your Minidisc. For example, if you've recorded something from a, let's say a vinyl record, and for some reason the pitch is not correct on the instruments, you can adjust the pitch using this control up or down a certain amount, and then you can make it the correct pitch if you want, if that's what you're interested in doing. This is the standard AMS control where you use for editing. You can also do many editing functions on this, which I don't have time to demonstrate. These are your standard playback and record controls. Fast forward. This changes your level and display. Also, you can set a date and time, which will, with a setting inside in the unit, you can mark each of your recorded tracks with a date and a time. This shows you how much time is left on the disk or how much time you've used on the disk. You can locate a track here, and auto cue, which is another function that you can use when you're doing this in a professional environment. It has a headphone jack, and the phone level control is here. I'll show you a little bit on the back panel. You can see here, these are the balanced inputs and outputs using DIN type plugs. You can manually adjust the level of the output using this switch. These are your inputs and outputs from your unbalanced, which is an RCA plug. It has a manual analog level adjustment here. I always leave it where it is with 0 reduction in volume. These are your digital coax inputs and outputs using a standard RCA plug, but it has to be a digital signal. If you have a Control S component, or namely a receiver, there's a 2-pin plug that goes in here that you can use to synchronize your recording and playback activities. These also has a DB9 parallel and DB9 RS230C, 232C controls. There's information in the instruction manual on how to set these up if you want to make a control using these inputs. It shows you how to do that. This is remote relay, where you can have multiple units recording. Those features I'm not that familiar with. That's basically the unit. It's in perfect working condition. It's available on eBay. The information is posted in the remarks on this particular video. So if you're interested in buying this unit, it works great and it will serve you well. Thank you.